Hello everybody, welcome back to the Learning Network 2025. So in this video, I am going to experiment with port mirroring. So let's go ahead and enable port mirroring. As you can see, we click on enabled and we're going to change the target port to port 2 and then the source port to port 3, and we're going to click apply. And then we're going to quickly look over at the statistics field. Nothing coming in yet because I have to plug in the secondary machine. But that's how you configure port mirroring on the actual switch itself. Now this is the first time I'm actually performing port mirroring. So along with that port mirroring, I'm also going to run some testing on traffic if I can find my Wireshark. Here it is. So I'm going to also open up my Wireshark application, and there it is. It's running pretty smoothly. And so I want to actually monitor the traffic on my NIC card, which is right here. There's the address 10909091, and let's just double click on it for a quick second to see what kind of traffic is coming through the actual network. As you see here, it says frame, packets, bits, all that fun stuff. Up here just is real quick. Spell it right. So the Ethernet address, 9091 is my actual desktop, but the other machine, which is another desktop, I need to find out what that IP address is. I'm not sure. I probably have to do a trace route. All right, so here I have just a bit of information in reference to my port mirroring data. As you can see here, it does say CGI port mirroring. So I want to make a filter of all of the mirroring data. So if I right click on it, on the mouse that is, and I go over to where it says apply as filter, and then I click on select it, it should kind of filter out all of the mirroring information in a separate window. And then from this point, what I could do is just highlight whatever HTTP traffic I want to look at. It's right there. And I'll double click it and it'll open up a new window and you'll see it's a PCAP PNG file. Packet number 17 is what I am reviewing. And I'll just make this a little longer here. So I am just going to drill down in all of these little sections here and just kind of review that port mirroring information. And also, if you could notice right here, everything is in bit format, lower level, which probably operates off of the OSI layer number 1. But this is in, like I said, bit format. So if you put the mouse right over the data, you'll get like a little information too about the actual raw packet, which is kind of cool, right? Sequence number, destination port, things of that nature. So let's just drill down into frame 17. Before we drill down into it, let's just read what the section says. So it's frame number 17, packet 738 bytes on the actual wire, 5,904 bits, and then it tells you that that much was captured, and this is the network card that it was captured on. That's the actual address, right? And so it also is telling us about a Hewlett Packard. I don't have a Hewlett Packard. Oh yes, actually I do have a Hewlett Packard printer. So that's just the printer information, and it has IP information. That's the destination of the router. That's the destination of the actual PC, laptop, I should say. TCP information, port 38534. I'm not sure what port that is, but I'll have to look that up. Port 80. So this is the source port, destination port. It was acknowledged, sequence 1, length 684 bits, I guess, or bytes. or frames, something like that. Hypertext protocol right there. HTML URL encoded. La la la. So now let's go ahead and go drill down. And what do we see? We see more about the network card. That's fine. Encapsulation type Ethernet 1. We saw that it actually arrived on November 26th. I think the clock on my computer was a little slow because today is actually the 27th. Anyway, Central Standard Time. And what else? Time shift for this packet. Amount of seconds. Delta, all that relating to time. Reference frame 2 minutes, 31 seconds. That's okay. Nothing spectacular there. Coloring rule for HTTP. That just means that I want to make sure all HTTP traffic is blue. And so we know it's port 80, HTTP 2. I'm not sure who made up that idea. All right, so now that's it for the first frame. So I'll just bring that back up. And I'll look under Ethernet 2, see what's going on there. That's just information about my printer, MAC address, actually D-Link internet. That's probably the router information. And then here is my printer information, factory default, unicast traffic. Nothing spectacular there. And if I go into IP4, I should get a little more information. And let's see what it's giving me here. It's giving me a field, differentiated field. It gives me a header information, some header information, 20 bytes. And got to keep reading more in my Wireshark book to find out what that is. It tells me the flag address, and then it says do not fragment. Fragment offset is 0, which is good. That means it wasn't fragmented. If it was 1, it would be fragmented. And it was time to live, 128. That was pretty good. So we didn't drop the packet. Looking at protocol 6, TCP 6. All right, anything else spectacular? Okay, source address right there, destination address right there. From the router to the PC, stream index 2. Anything else I need to be aware of? Let's see. Source port 38534. Like I said, I gotta look up that port and see what that is, what that entails. Stream 0, and then stream packet number 4. See all this nifty information when you're using your Wireshark protocol analyzer. This is what you want to look into, and you want to look for specific traffic that could be malicious or dangerous to your network, and you want to get rid of it. This even tells you it's raw data. Push, acknowledge, Windows 64240, calculated window. A lot of good data here, but you really have to get down into the nitty gritty as far as your skill set is concerned. Client continuous streams, contiguous TCP payload, that's important, 684 bytes. Hypertext protocol, let's see what's in here. The actual mirroring information and the host name, and then it has keep alive information, all that good stuff about the mirroring. This is low level stuff, so I don't expect you to know all of it, but it's a good start for you to start learning about how to read this information. See right here, it says full request URI. That's the address. Put mirroring CGI. Now, if I click on it, does it give me an option to click on that? I'm not sure if it'll take me to the router. No, it just says copied. I thought it might take me to the router. It gives you a little more information though. As you can see, Windows NT, Windows 64, right? Looks like it's using some kind of. Well, I'm using Chrome, so this comes up. I guess closest to Mozilla you can get using Chrome. What else am I looking? Cookies, session 2. Just a little more data. Gzip. Okay, anything else there? I don't think I've seen that would give us a clue as to what is going to transpire next. Let's see. Yeah, so that's just a quick, brief overview of that port mirroring traffic, right? That's how it would look. Alrighty.